This is for anyone who has ever wondered what it's really like to play college sports, especially those high school athletes who are trying to decide if competing in college is right for them. 6 college athletes, 5 different sports, every level from junior college to Division I. Hear what their day-to-day lives are really like.
You learn so much by playing a sport. You learn so much on the field or on the court that you could never learn in a classroom. You learn communication skills, you learn how to you learn respect, and it's just a completely different atmosphere than you would ever get in any other type of setting.
Probably that, but before school even starts, you have a small group of friends and people you can do everything with, people you already know. So even when freshman year before school starts, when all these orientation things are going on, you still already have a group of people to go do them with. And
there really does come rewards with the time you put into it. I'm a people's person, so I really like my teammates. That's one thing that has always drawn me back to basketball, is the bonds you make with teammates.
Especially at a small school, I really like that we get to meet a lot of new people through it. Like, we usually hang out with most of the sports teams, and the girls are all really nice and they're on the same page as you, so you're not too serious about it, but you definitely want to be high in competition and try your best.
I like the most is that there's facilities always open to us, like work out and like just go in the gym and shoot around, do things like that. Like at my high school, it wasn't all, there's always things going on in the gym, like the weight room was always closed for this, or like after hours you couldn't do it that much. But at my college, like it's always open.
Best part of being a college athlete, I enjoy the sport first and foremost so much that it's such an opportunity and a blessing to be able to play and be able to do something that you love in front of so many people, and for such a great academic institution. You love your school, you love the people that you go to school with, and to represent them in such a great way.
Okay, well, after I wake up, I usually have a morning class, and so I go to class pretty much on and off all day until 3 o'clock-ish, and then I have practice. And practice will usually take us until from 3 until maybe 6, or late ones can go to 6:30 or 7. And so I'm catching a late dinner and then have to start on my work when it's already dark out.
A typical day is classes in the morning, kind of gets the schedule set for athletes. You have to have it done early in the morning, done before noon, their last class. You're done with your classes in the morning, maybe a lift in the morning, and then practice. You got to get there early with football, getting your pads on, getting everything set, taped and braced. You're there about 1:30, and meetings start probably about 45 minutes later, and it's meetings and on to practice, and you're there for a good chunk of time.
Usually I would get up, go to my classes. I have about 3, and I would go to practice around 4 o'clock. We went till about 6:30, and we usually went out to dinner with the team, just hung out together afterwards.
Well, I'll wake up at about 8 o'clock to go to my class, which is at 9 o'clock. And then I'm in school between 9 and 1 o'clock every day. Then after school, I'll go home, eat a little bit, try and relax, and then if it's a game day, we have to be at school at about 4:30 for a shoot around, and then our games are usually at 7. And then after that, I get home probably around 10:30.
I have classes in the morning. I try to schedule them in the morning so I don't have classes during practice time. I normally have classes from 8 to about 12, go to lunch. I try to either do an hour or 2 of homework afterwards, or I take a nap depending on how tired I am. And then I'll have practice from normally, probably about 2 hours, sometimes 2.5 hours. And after practice, 3 days a week we have lifting in season, and then sometimes we'll even have film either before it for half an hour or after it for an hour.
It's a very rigorous, tough schedule, and it was very physically and mentally draining.
It's about 8 hours a day once you've got including lifts in the morning possibly or anything like that. Usually out of about 5:30, 5:36, and that's not including. Usually I'll run over, eat dinner, and run back to try and watch some film as well to try and get prepared. But that's all in my own time. I'm usually there at about 8:30.
3 to 4 hours.
3 to 4 hours.
So it's a lot.
In season, we have 4-hour workouts Monday through Friday, and those are just practicing. That's not conditioning, that's not weightlifting. I get to the field, practice starts at 7. I get to the field by 6:30 so I can do my own personal stretch, and I'm there till 11 or 12 depending on the day.
We practice about 3 or at least 3 or 4 days a week, or at least 3 or 4 hours a day, 7 days a week, all year round.
Well, it's pretty much the same thing almost. I'll go to class all day and then I'll go home, relax a little bit more, and then we'll have like team little workouts. You know how it's called practices, so just like open gyms, and then we'll have like open gyms for about 3 hours, and then some people stay and like do like their individual workouts, and then we'll go home. It's nothing too bad.
After the season ends in about November, like mid-November, we go to team workouts daily. We have like an hour in a weight room, and we have a specific set of things we have to do, like lifting and squatting and sprint workouts. But we are enrolled in a couple tournaments over the spring, so we have a thing called spring season.
I'm in 3 sports. It's really all the same sport, but it's cross country in the fall, indoor track in the winter, and outdoor track in the spring. And so there's no real off season. I guess the most off season is after cross country and before indoor track, like I am right now. That's only a couple weeks long, and you're just really training for indoor track at this point.
Off season's a lot more relaxed for us. Usually it's just lift about 4 days a week. The class schedule gets a lot easier because you're allowed to branch it out throughout the day. You're usually lifting about for a senior now 8:30 in the morning. They try to do it as early as possible so your day is kind of set. If you're a freshman though, you're up at 5 going in and trying to lift, and so that's always no fun. But then the rest of the day pretty much yourself. You'll have some optional 7-on-7 kind of just passing work with some of your teammates.
And conditioning doesn't count as practice, so we get together with our weightlifting and conditioning trainer and work our butts off. Off season is actually significantly harder on the body than in season because of how much work we do.
It's not as bad. We'll have lifting still. It's normally like 4 times a week, and then we'll have open gyms 3 nights a week. It's a lot more laid back, but you still have to give up a good amount of time.
Summer, we just have to, if we want to keep up during preseason for the next year, we want to keep up with our sprint workouts and our lifting.
You still have to run the same kind of mileage we're running. If you're a real long distance guy, you're running over 100 miles a week, even throughout the summer. Well,
summer they know you have you. Also in the summertime, then all morning you're there about 10 a.m. or noon. Let you sleep in a little bit more in the summertime, but you're there for then a couple hours working out, running, lifting, because this is the most important time of the year, pretty much for any football athlete getting ready for the season, because these are the weeks leading up. It's the only real time you have to be able to try and gain some strength. I'm there every summer. We get a week off at the end of school, a week off in the middle, and a week off before camp. But besides that, I'm a Boston resident.
Summer, we have some summer league games that we do. There's not as many. There's a summer camp that we actually run for kids, so it's not really anything we're involved in, but we have to be there.
Summer commitments, you get a packet from your coach or your weightlifting, and you're expected to keep up with everything that you would normally be doing, so you come back to school, if not in as good a shape as you left, but in better shape. As a pitcher, I have a lot of pitcher workouts that I have to do, constant pitching at least 4 days a week, which in the summer is kind of difficult if you want to have a summer job, but it's definitely worth it. We have a lot of fall games that when you come back and after a whole summer of practice, you do really, really well because you've been preparing basically all summer by yourself.
When summer comes around, then that's when like the practices start and things like that, and then we have summer leagues, and summer league games are on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays, and when we don't have the games, we just have practices and workouts. We're required to take summer school classes, so we'll take 2 or 3 classes over the summer, and then after that we'll have, let's say, a workout at like 4 o'clock or something like that, and then we'll just probably work out for 2 hours a day, and then if we have a game, we won't have a workout, we'll just meet at the gym and then just go to our scrimmage games and stuff like that.